Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Um, First off, before I go any further, so sorry for last week not being able to do a Saturday chit chat video. I had to work, and I basically just didn't get time to do one. I did do a video the week before, which was due to drop Saturday morning at 8 o'clock yesterday, but I had one of my diva moments. It just wasn't good enough. I watched it back and it was just awful. And I thought there is no way that I can upload that. So I'm going to hopefully be redoing it after I've done this one. And I'll upload it obviously next Saturday, around about 8 o'clock. I'll schedule it. But occasionally, due to work commitments and stuff like that, obviously every now and then I'm not going to be able to do one, but I will try my absolute best to get the two videos to you, one on a Saturday and one on a Sunday, because that format really seems to work, and I've had some really good feedback telling me that it's exactly how people want it to be. So I will do my absolute best to keep the two video format going, but obviously due to, as I say, work commitments and other things, occasionally it will be a case of I just won't have time to do it. But I think I can safely guarantee you that you will get a video every Sunday. So you will at least get 30 minutes of Tony time. So, but as I say, I will do my best to keep it going the way it is for you. It's nice to see that a lot of you were disappointed by it. I got quite a few memes when I put up the announcement that I wasn't going to be able to do one for yesterday. So obviously I'm doing something right if you're already disappointed not to see one. So as I say, I will keep it going. Right, first off, Dave Oliver, congratulations, my friend, on 500 subscribers. That is absolutely brilliant. You've got a really cracking little channel going there, and you are going great guns, mate. I'm loving your reviews. I will be watching your review of It Isn't Violent Night. What's the Christmas one? Christmas Bloody Christmas. I will be watching that one hopefully next week at some point. So I'll be talking about that one next week. As I say, I love your videos. It gives me basically 5 minutes worth of material to sort of talk about. And I love talking about your videos and chatting to other people about them. So, and I really appreciate the shout out as well. That was lovely. I will get up to 100 subscribers. I'm currently on, I believe, 92. So it is sort of creeping up. But I'm told that is usually how it happens. And I think it's how it happened with you. It was a bit of a slow burn. It started off nice and slow, and now you're going great guns. So I have high hopes that at some point it will hit 100, and then obviously I'll set a target of maybe 150 or 200, see how we're going. But as I've always said, and as you're always saying yourself, I'm perfectly happy with what I've got at the moment. I personally would rather have sort of 70 or 80 subscribers, knowing that most of those are sort of watching the videos and enjoying them, rather than having 2,000 subscribers and probably 50 or 60 are watching the videos. So, but that's just me. But as I say, I do appreciate the shout out, and I will get there one way or another. It may take time, but we've got time, haven't we? So, as I say, congratulations, my friend, on 500. That is absolutely brilliant. And obviously your channel is going to go from strength to strength from here. So what else have I got here? Let's see. Loving the Christmas movies, guys. The Christmas movies that matter, and also Chris's Advent Christmas-a-thon. I can't remember what it's called, but you know what I mean. A lot of these movies, I've got to confess, I haven't seen, which obviously comes as absolutely no surprise to anyone. I have seen movies like Jingle All the Way, all that kind of thing, but there's a lot of movies, especially the modern ones. I don't usually tend to watch the modern ones. It seems nowadays that all you have to do is make a movie and put the word Christmas into the title and you've got an instant hit. To me, it just doesn't work. There's a channel on Sky, I think it's called Great Christmas or something like that, and it's been playing Christmas movies since September. Um, I haven't seen any of them. I don't recognise any of them. Um, there was one that you put on, Jason, and I forgot to write the title down. You called it a cracking British Christmas. I think it's a brand new one. I believe it's on Netflix because I saw it on there last night. I may take that one in, seeing as you've recommended it. I might see what that one's like. But the two that I really, really do need to watch and quick smart are Elf and Love Actually. I've kind of been challenged to watch them, or should I say threatened with having my letterbox sealed up with a plank of wood so no more Amazon deliveries, that kind of thing. Um, and the good news on that front is I actually watched Elf a couple of nights ago, and I got to admit I thoroughly enjoyed it. I've never seen it before. I know of it. I've seen probably little clips of it, so I know roughly what it was about. Um, but as I say, it's one of those movies. With it being a modern Christmas movie, I tend to avoid it. I think the newest Christmas movie I've actually seen is Home Alone and Home Alone 2. After that, I sort of kind of lost interest in them. Um, but Elf, really, really enjoyed it. I'm not a fan of Will Ferrell. I don't know any of his movies really. I've got one that I need to watch that was taken off somebody's top 10 list. I think it's called The Other Guys. And I'm quite keen to watch that now that I've seen Elf. Um, but I just thought it was a really, really charming little film. Um, Will Ferrell is absolutely superb. James Caan was brilliant in a role that you just could not imagine him playing um, after seeing him in The Godfather as Sonny Corleone. Um, but I guess this is what acting is all about. You know what I mean? They act these parts out. But I really enjoyed Elf. To be honest, the bit I enjoyed the most was probably the main theme to it at the beginning. It's a real earworm. I can't get it out of my head. It's do 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 do. Do, 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 do. I really enjoyed that to the point where when it was playing over the end credits, I actually rewound it back a bit to listen to it again. Um, that would basically make it onto my Christmas soundtrack list if I was doing a Christmas soundtrack list. But the film itself, yeah, really, really enjoyed it. I think it's safe to say that it will make it onto my list of movies to watch every Christmas. I do have a kind of a set list. Very few of the ones that I've seen on the Christmas movies that matter and on Chris's Adventathon are sort of on it. I tend to go for the older movies. I'm interested in seeing Claus because that was recommended to me by Ashley McGimpsey, who said it's brilliant. And Chris, I think you bore that one out. So I will be taking a look at Claus. But if we're talking Christmas movies, I really, really tend to be a bit of a traditionalist, a bit boring really. I like movies like White Christmas, Holiday Inn, Santa Claus the movie, all the absolute classics, including the TV specials from the 1960s, sort of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Santa Claus is Coming to Town. I haven't seen the Jim Carrey version of A Christmas Carol, but I do watch every single year Scrooge with Albert Finney. Absolutely love that movie. Love the songs. Love the brilliant Christmas atmosphere and the look of it. It was made about 1970. They were really good at doing that kind of thing back then. And that is one that I watch every Christmas Eve. But what I'll do is, on next Saturday's video, instead of doing the road movies, I'm going to save that one probably until the new year because I've bought a couple more road movies that I really, really would like to take a look at before I talk about my top 5 because I get the feeling they will probably make it into it and probably turn it into a top 10. So I'm saving that one for then. So next week I'll probably do my essential Christmas movies that I have on Blu-ray or DVD, and you will recognise most of them, but you will also recognise the fact that they are mostly older movies, which is what I tend to go for. These are the Christmas movies that I remember. Obviously, there's a whole generation out there, Jason, Chris, who remember different movies, who love different movies from sort of the 90s onwards. And as I say, they don't really appeal to me that much. I will take a look at Love Actually. Um, it's not really my kind of film. I know it's a rom-com, but I've heard it's also something very, very special. So I will take a look at that before the deadline. But I have watched Elf and thought it was brilliant. So yes, that I will be watching that pretty much every Christmas, I think now. I don't think I'll be buying it. It's not one I'm going to purchase on Blu-ray, or I think it's just come out on 4K as well. But it does tend to turn up on Sky every year, around about this time. So I will get the chance to watch it next year. But yeah, keep the Christmas movies coming, guys. You're doing an absolutely brilliant job. You're making the group really, really festive, and I'm loving every minute of it. I know I don't tend to comment and stuff a lot during the week. There's a reason for that. With work, obviously, I get home, and the last thing I want to do is just sit at a computer screen or this, that, and the other. I tend to get in and basically just loll out on the sofa just watching TV. So if I don't actually comment too much during the week, please forgive me for that. I do tend to try to catch up with everything that's on the group, usually at the weekend. But in the new year, I'm going to try and work out some kind of a thing where I keep up with things a little bit better. I need to be better organised, and I know that, especially as far as the videos go, and as far as posts go. I do need to post a lot more, but you guys are doing such a good job at the moment with the Christmas videos. I really don't need to post that much because you guys are keeping it going very, very nicely. So really appreciate that. You're doing a brilliant job, lads. Absolutely brilliant. What else have I got here? Oh yeah, I mean, I work it the same way as you, Chris, with these Christmas films. I tend to watch the ones that I'm not overly bothered about for about the first half of the month. Then in the last run up to Christmas, I tend to watch the absolute true classics like White Christmas, It's a Wonderful Life, that kind of thing. I save all those for the week before Christmas because it just about makes me feel that little bit more festive. So that's how I tend to work it, pretty much the same as you. And I'm really flattered by the way that you watch me while you're doing the washing up. I think that's smashing. I love that picture of you. I think you'd propped the tablet up on the windowsill and you got all those pots to wash. I thought that was great. Where exactly do you lot watch me? I know, Guy, you tend to watch me on the big screen. Just out of curiosity, where do you guys tend to watch the videos? And spare me answers like while I'm having a poo or something like that. Spare me that. But just curious. So, what else have I got here? Talking of Christmas films, I will also be watching the Star Wars Christmas Holiday Special and a movie called Santa Claus. Is it Santa Claus Kills the Martians? Santa Claus Meets the Martians, something like that. It's a 60s movie anyway. Rated as one of the worst movies ever. I mean, you guys are basically putting on all of these absolutely classic movies. I am more well known for sort of like in the more rubbish crap movies. So I might as well play up to that, and I will watch the Star Wars Holiday Special, which has got an absolutely awful reputation. I can't believe it's as bad as I've heard it is. And Santa Claus Conquers the Martians, that's what it's called. So I will take a look at those two over the next couple of weeks or so and let you know my thoughts, but I think you pretty much know what my thoughts are going to be on those. They're probably going to be very, very entertaining, but, quite rightly so, they are complete and utter crud. But we'll see. What else have I got here? Just bear with me. Let's see. What you been? Dave Lowe. That Steelbook of Evil Dead 2. What a beautiful piece of kit that is. I am curious to hear what the transfer's like. You were going to put something on about that. But yeah, it's a beautiful looking Steelbook. I have actually ordered Silent Running on Steelbook. I didn't go for the special edition in the end, which had got all the art cards and the poster artwork and stuff like that. it's really of no use to me. But I have ordered the Steelbook from Zavvi. My first experience ever of shopping at Zavvi, so I'm hoping it works. It's released, I believe, tomorrow, so fingers crossed it should be with me very, very shortly, hopefully over the next couple of days, and I will be watching that over Christmas. It's a movie I'm obsessing over, even though I've never seen it. I've seen the trailer to it. I know it's got a brilliant soundtrack. I know it's one of Mark Kermode's favourite, well, the favourite sci-fi movie, and he just absolutely loves it. So I will be taking a look at that, and I'll do a full sort of chat with you about that when it actually comes through. But yes, hoping if this one goes right, I will be shopping more on Zavvi, because they've got some great stuff on there. They do a marvellous range of steelbooks, sort of exclusives, that kind of thing. So yeah, if this one goes okay, I'll be shopping at Zavvi basically as much as I do on Amazon, which is pretty much every week, as you all know. Let's see what we got here. Kirstie Alley. Kirstie Alley, what a shame. Died after a battle with cancer, I believe. She was absolutely superb in Cheers. I didn't see many episodes of it, but I have seen a few, and she was absolutely brilliant in that. She was also superb, as everybody will remember, as Mr. Savick, a friend of Spock's, a Vulcan in Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, which I'm going to be ordering on 4K very shortly. But she was superb in that. My favourite Kirstie Alley role was actually a little-known movie called Summer School, which she starred in with Mark Harmon. A cracking sort of teen-type comedy. Brilliant. If you've never seen it, it's called Summer School. Check it out. And that starred Kirstie Alley, Mark Harmon, and a few other people whose names I can't remember. It's well worth watching if you get the chance, but it's a shame about Kirstie Alley. She was 71. So what else have I got here? Loving the new Crystal Lake artwork, by the way. I think, Jason, you were posting this. They seem to be coming out with one a week near enough, and they're getting increasingly better. I am really excited for this series. I cannot wait to see what they do with it. I know it's a prequel. It's obviously going to go back to before the original Friday the 13th, which is an interesting concept in itself. But that new artwork, I just can't wait to take a look at it. It's on Peacock, I believe, and it's going to be coming out sometime in 2023. It would almost be worth subscribing to Peacock, even if they do a trial period, and just downloading the whole lot and watching them in a binge session, and then cancelling maybe. So, but I can't really go subscribing to any more channels. I've got two more that I want to do. I want to subscribe to Paramount Plus, which I will be doing at some point, and obviously Disney Plus. Now, I can't get Disney Plus on Virgin, which is the platform that I've got, but I have now got obviously that smart that smart TV, the 4K one. So, and you can get it on that, but I've yet to learn how to use it properly. I have got some instructions, but I need to sit down for a couple of hours and just go through it. So I can get Disney Plus on that, but how I do it, I honestly don't know. But that's the only other one that I really want to subscribe to. But I would be tempted by Peacock just to watch the Crystal Lake series. So we'll see what they come up with next on the artwork. But the latest one is stunning. Really, really like that. Mark Bailey, loving the trivia. My favourite this week has got to be, and I'm going to try and pronounce his name, but it's going to come out wrong, Ke Huy Quan. Basically, he played Short Round in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, which I watched last night and thoroughly enjoyed for the 30th time, and just diversifying slightly. We were watching the movie, and about sort of 10 minutes into it, when they jumped through the window, I heard from the other end of the sofa, "Oh, the club's called Obi-Wan, why is that?" And I went, "What, eh? Obi-Wan? I don't know." So I whizzed it back, and sure enough, the club they are in is called Obi-Wan. I can only assume it's to do with the friendship between Spielberg and George Lucas. because I know they're always giving sly nods to each other in movies, so it must have been something like that. But I have seen Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom so many times, and I have never ever noticed that. So yeah, caught me out with that one. But yeah, Spielberg apparently sends. I'm going to call him Short Round because I can't pronounce his name. Sends Short Round a Christmas present every single year and has done since he gave him his first part in Temple of Doom. So yeah, that was his first job. So yeah, enjoyed that one. Read an article this morning about Superman the movie. Um, it has been called a major influence on obviously all MCU movies. Reason being, back in 1978, there were no real superhero movies about. Um, they were basically consigned to cinemas, 12-part serials in the 40s and 50s, which were brilliant. Flash Gordon, Batman, Captain America, King of the Rocket Men, that kind of thing. And they were brilliant. They were absolutely superb. But as far as movies go, there were none back in 1978. Unlike now, you literally can't move uh, for Marvel movies and DC movies. It's like every other movie that comes out is a superhero movie. It wasn't that way back in 1978. And Christopher Reeve most definitely set the bar very, very high for playing Superman. He is, to many people, the definitive Superman, the only Superman. Um, I would actually say that myself, and I'm pretty sure, Guy, you would agree with that. I think Chris would as well, because I believe you're a fan of the original Superman, the movie. Christopher Reeve was and is, will always be Superman. I haven't seen any of the Henry Cavill ones, Man of Steel, that kind of thing. Um, Mostly because I've never really been bothered by them. I've got Christopher Reeve, and that's all I need. But yeah, it has been quoted as being one of the most influential movies concerning superheroes, and it came sort of decades before. Um, Obviously, the MCU came along with the movies, so yeah, I was quite pleased about that. I've got my issue of Empire here. I'll just point a couple of little articles out. First of all, there's this one. Can you read that? Serving up a second course of Boiling Point. Basically, the BBC have bought the rights to the movie Boiling Point, the Stephen Graham drama from earlier this year, which was, by the way, it was a blistering performance by Stephen Graham. What a movie! Um, it was all shot in one take, the whole 90 minutes. God knows how many times they had to do it to get it right. But it was just brilliant. A really uncomfortable watch at times, but well worth it. Well, the BBC are turning it into a series. Now, as I understand it, Stephen Graham is not going to be in every episode. He's going to be in a couple of them, but he's far too busy to commit to a full series. But I'm very, very curious to see what the BBC do with this and whether they'll be able to keep up the quality um, of sort of performances and the writing, which was absolutely superb. I'd have thought myself that it was pretty much a one-off thing, but it doesn't look like it is. So we shall await to see what Boiling Point does. And the original, the other thing I noticed was, just bear with me a second, is this one, Secrets of the Overlook. Now, I love the movie The Shining, absolutely adore it. I've seen it many, many times. I've got it on 4K on extended version. To me, it is a go-to horror film. I absolutely love it. Now, normally when I sort of enjoy a movie that much, I tend to buy bits and pieces of memorabilia, sort of the soundtrack, sort of the odd T-shirt, and books. Usually on the making of the movie tie-in, that kind of thing. So I was quite excited to read that there is a book coming out called, I think it's Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. It's published by Taschen, and it is supposed to be the definitive work on the movie The Shining. Now, I went over to Amazon to check the price of this thing, because I really, really would not mind this. It sounds absolutely brilliant. It is years in the making. I listened to a podcast yesterday, the Empire podcast, and they'd actually got the author on there, and he was talking about it. And it is just thousands of photographs, behind the scenes, interviews, up-to-date interviews with the cast. It is supposed to be absolutely the definitive work on the movie The Shining. So went onto Amazon, couldn't find it. I found another one, a different book, but it's not the same thing. And I thought, why is that? And I went onto Tation's website, and I now realise why Amazon are not stocking this thing. It's a beautiful looking book. There are pictures on the website of the book itself, and it looks amazing. It is nearly 2,200 pages. It must look like the Bible. It must be like that. And it has a rather hefty price tag of £1,500, £1,500 for this book. I would love this book. I really, really would. But I will not pay 1,500 quid for it. I have paid over the odds before for like import books, Blu-rays, that kind of thing, but not on that scale. I'm really, really curious to know who this book is aimed at. It can't be aimed at the casual fan. It can't be, because how many of us have got £1,500 to spend on a single book, one volume? And as good as it looks, even if it drops in price, it's not going to drop that much. But 1,500 quid for a 2,000 page book, I don't care how exhaustive it is and how comprehensive it is, it can't be worth that, surely to God. I'm waiting for some reviews to appear on the website, basically telling me what the book is like, and is it worth it, and this, that, and the other. But who the hell can afford that? The Empire podcast team were actually furnished with copies of it, because they've all sort of started reading it. And one of the guys has said basically he'd need to take off the entire year just to finish it off. He got the basic flavour of it, and he says it's absolutely superb. But I really want to know who this thing is aimed at. Certainly not me, that's for sure. Unless a second-hand copy comes up for, I think the most I would ever pay for that is maybe £150, £200. But I would not in a million years go up to 1,500 quid. That is outrageous, Tation. Who are you aiming this at? So, yeah, it looks like I'm going to have to do with the book that I found on Amazon, which is not the same, but it's supposed to be pretty comprehensive. But I'm certainly not spending that kind of money on it. So, right, that's it for this week, folks. Hope you've enjoyed it. I will be going on now in a few minutes to record the video for next Saturday. I know I probably should have put the one that I originally did on there, but it really was truly terrible. I watched it back, and there was absolutely no way that I was going to upload it. It just looked awful and sounded terrible. So I'm going to redo that one, and hopefully that will be with you at 8 o'clock next Saturday. So thanks ever so much for joining me, folks. If you've enjoyed the video, obviously give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and also share it, because that really helped the other week. It's won me a few new subscribers. So if you would share the video, that would be very, very much appreciated. Thanks ever so much for joining me, folks, and I will see you again next week. Have a brilliant weekend, what's left of it. Take care. Ta-da.